Okay, hey there. Hey there, hey there. This is Kathy. This is my first, oh, shit. This is my first live stream, art live stream that I've done. And I didn't tell anybody I was doing this. This is like a secret. This is like a secret live stream because I'm trying to work the kinks out. And I'm just trying to work things out. Trying to work things out. I have screen, there we go. Screen monitoring or whatever, mirroring. I have a screen mirroring going on over here. So, hi, my name is Kathy. I'm doing live coloring tonight. I've been doing this on Instagram, and I've decided that I'm going to do it on YouTube because I think it's a better suited place for me to do this. So so this is totally a test of the emergency broadcast system. I've never done an art live stream on YouTube before. This is my first one. Never done a live art stream on YouTube before. I've done live art live streams on Instagram, which is what I've been doing. I've been doing live coloring on Instagram. And what I've discovered is that Instagram is just not really built for what I wanted to do. And it's kind of a no-brainer because I have a YouTube channel that I would do a live here. But I've always kind of been afraid to do lives on YouTube. I've done them before, but more like Q&A style. But I'm just going for it because I'm into it. I really like to do them. I'm really into doing, to showing my process and to talking out my process with you guys. So, I just thought I would do it. Mostly the videos I post here on YouTube, a lot of them are based on print on demand, and they're all support for artists videos, right? But most of my videos are print on demand based, Etsy based, stuff like that. So when I'm over on Instagram, I'm usually doing art. So that's pretty much where I post my art and talk about stuff that I'm doing art-wise. And I have a few accounts over there that I use. So I have one for my shop, I have one for my art, and I have one for my coloring books, which I've kind of been phasing out a little bit because I think that my art, Kathy Weller Art on Instagram, is kind of a better fit for all of my art pursuits. So it's kind of better to simplify and do it that way. So today what I'm using here is Faber Castell Gelato. These are water-soluble crayon / pastel. And this is the Marabu Art crayon, which is also a water-soluble pastel crayon. So a way I like to use these when I color is because the tip is really thick and you really can't get any detail with this or like a lot of detail. So what I do is I've just sort of been like really using it like a oil pastel pretty much with my coloring pages. And let me back up a little bit. So over the past, like about a month ago, when I first started quarantining, I decided to color a coloring page every day. I make coloring books, but I don't color that much. So I started to do this because it's sort of therapeutic. Not sort of, it is therapeutic to color. And I love coloring because it gets my mind out of the line art quotient of creating artwork. And I really appreciate that because I tend to really focus on the line part quite a bit in a lot of the work I do. So I started doing this to sort of get out of my own head a little bit when it comes to my creative work. And it's really been a huge beneficial thing. So I started posting my Instagram, I started posting my daily coloring therapy, this hashtag, to Instagram. Every day I would post a coloring. And then I started making speed draws, which I love to make those and I love to post them and people really like them. So that's great. But then the next step was I was like, hey, I want to do live coloring, you know, to talk about process and stuff. And also just to see like what comes up because I really like to talk to you guys and I like to just sort of discuss whatever's on my mind or see what conversations tend to come up. And so that's what I've been doing and I've really been enjoying it a lot. So I thought that I would continue to do it as long as I was enjoying it and you guys were enjoying it. So, or the people who were watching were enjoying it. So I've been doing it, but Instagram Live is extremely flaky. So in a couple of different ways. For one thing, I can't do a live that's longer than an hour, which really that should not be a problem because I probably shouldn't be doing lives that are longer than an hour anyway. But the other thing is, obviously you want to reuse that content and put it on, for instance, an IGTV when you're done doing an Instagram live. So that has been my plan. I also posted them all, sidebar, I posted them all to YouTube as well. I'm posting them to YouTube currently. But the thing about the IGTV is I'm not allowed to post an IGTV that's longer than an hour. So that's fine, right? But half the time when I do an IGTV, half the time when I do an IG live, when I go to save it, it won't save. So that's a problem. Like that's like a real problem because I don't want to do a whole episode of this and then have it be lost. That's just not cool, you know? Like I don't want to lose all of that content because it's been really fun and I've been teaching my techniques and stuff and I've been learning stuff as I go with you guys. So that's been awesome. But it's just so unreliable on Instagram. It's been so unreliable. So it stinks because I love Instagram. I love YouTube too. And I have a YouTube channel, so that's great. But for some reason, I've always been sort of intimidated to do a live here. I've done a couple of lives, but I haven't done an art live stream. And quite honestly, like anytime I go live, and I've mentioned this on my live colorings earlier, in the past, I should say, that I am posting currently here. I'm posting the ones over the past week, like every day I'll post a new one here. I just decided to do that the other day because why not? You know, like why not? I do have an audience here, so. And I wasn't going to do it because they're vertical, but there's a lot of vertical video out there these days. So, you know, it probably isn't going to bother most people, you know, and if they don't like it, then you don't have to watch it. So that's fine, you know, but people that it doesn't bother will watch it. So that's fine. But yeah, so I'm posting them here and I just thought, you know, I might as well just try and just try this out on try this out on YouTube because I do love it here, but I have a great deal of intimidation for doing lives here, but also doing lives in general. I have a great deal of anxiety over doing lives. And this whole practice of my whole live colorings with Kathy thing is really helping me. Like, I don't know whether or not I will ever be over it. And I feel like I talk about anxiety a lot because I feel like it's kind of an important it's kind of important to explain because I had a really bad anxiety attack on the other day before I did my live. It happened about an hour before I did the live. And then so when I got onto the live, because I didn't not do it, when I got onto the live, I explained it all to you guys. I was like, I had a really bad anxiety attack. This is what happened. I'm gonna get through it. It's fine. You just manage it. You know, you have to learn like management tools, like create them within yourself to just sort of get over it. And I've always been somebody who gets anxiety doing anything live. So yes, I can make videos. Yes, I've gotten over a lot of my own stuff to be able to create videos that have good content. I know how to edit them. I know how to produce the content in them in a way that's like the most easily digestible for my audience here or just my audience anywhere for you guys. So I don't want to waste your time, like I just want to provide like the best I can in the shortest amount of time I can. I know some of my videos are kind of longer, but that's because I go in depth on stuff. But so that's been something that that's just like a constant life thing, the whole anxiety when you're doing live stuff. And it's kind of like it doesn't ever like go away, but you learn how to like self-manage. And that's really once you kind of hit different phases of learning how to do that, it's awesome. Like when I was in my early 20s, I used to get really bad panic attacks and feel like I was dying, and I would think that everything would close in on me, and I would feel like it was odd. I don't want to go into detail because it's, we just don't need to go there. I mean, we all have our own ways that panic and anxiety affect us physically and mentally. So that's fine. That's what it is. It is what it is, and, But I managed to learn to teach myself basically how to talk myself out of it or just manage myself out of it. So I used breathing techniques, and it wasn't like I went anywhere to learn something, or not went anywhere, but it's not like I followed any gurus or read any books that taught me these things. Maybe there might have been something that I read somewhere, but it's not like I followed anything to the letter. I mean, obviously breathing exercises are important to manage that, but it really worked for me. Learning how to breathe my way out of a panic attack. So, but another thing is panic attacks and anxiety attacks are like different things. They're completely different things. Well, maybe not completely, but they present very differently for me anyway. A panic attack and an anxiety attack are different. Panic attack is, everything closes in. I actually don't really get them anymore. I did get a panic attack last year. It was the first one I had had in maybe 15 years, 20 years, honestly. So, yay me, being able to learn how to manage them. Anxiety attacks are different. I get them when I'm going to do something in public or live, something live. Like I've gotten them when I've done periscopes before. I've gotten them when I've done live interviews before. I've gotten them when I just do lives. on Instagram, like I said earlier, last week when I was doing my live coloring, or I just had a massive anxiety attack. I might have stomach pain and shaky. I get shaky and I just sort of, it's almost, I should probably write down the symptoms, you know, when I have it, because when I'm not in one, it's hard to sort of explain what it feels like. But it's very intense, and I feel that being upfront and honest about these things, and also it's just to, like, you can move on from this. Like, you know, it might not go away, and it probably won't, but you can manage it, you know? So by the time, and I know exactly what, I think key is knowing what causes them. So sometimes with panic attacks, you don't really know. With the anxiety attacks for me, I always know what it is. What is it? It's doing a speech. Like if I'm going to get on a stage and talk to people, that freaks me out. If I'm going to do a live class, not always, but it has. I have had a terrible anxiety attack. Actually, I had an anxiety attack that turned into a panic attack when I did a live workshop a while ago, like a few years ago. And oh, didn't I tell you that I haven't had a panic attack in 15 years? That's actually true, except for this one time, which was 5 years ago, which I had anxiety that actually did turn into a panic attack. But that's the only time, and in memory. But it happens if I'm. This is gonna sound terrible because I'm live on YouTube right now, and I have a channel and I do make videos. But the truth is, it happens when it happened last week. It happened when I went to promote that I was going to do a live I was going to do a live at noon, and I was like, okay, I better, email my email subscribers, let them know, and tell people on Facebook and tell people here and there. What happened? I got an anxiety attack. It was very strange, but it happened. And it didn't really go away right away either. It took me a bit into my live stream to actually get it sort of under control. And I also will say, and it was fine, everything, just to interject on that, it actually, whenever I live stream, it usually takes me like a good, I'll move this, sorry. Whenever I live stream, it usually takes me like a good 5 minutes to sort of get into what I'm doing and get out of my own head. Like, I tend to be nervous in the beginning. That just happens. I don't know whether or not other people have the same issue. Probably they do, because I think we're probably all more alike than different in a lot of ways. So I can't be the only one. But yeah, so these crayons that I'm using, these are water-soluble pastels, and these ones are called Marabu brand, and they're called Art Crayon. Let me show you. So I actually have another video on my channel where I have a review of the Marabu Art Crayons and the Faber Castell Gelatos, which is what this is, in the same video. So you can look that up on my channel if you want to learn more about these materials. So I have found, like, over time of using them, that I haven't grabbed for them as much as I have wanted, as much as I would have liked, as much as I would have thought to grab for them. However, since I've been doing coloring, I'm addicted to them now. They are like my new favorite thing right now because they're just perfect for this use. So they're perfect to do a like tie-dye looking background, and then you can do different things. You can add drawing and stuff on top of it. So I have this method that I just recently have been really, really into, which is, I just started doing it the other day. Yeah, I just had an idea to do what I'm doing here with the Marabus. They're kind of creamy and silky, and I thought that would be fun. So I started doing it. These are my coloring books, by the way. I do coloring book art, and these are available on Amazon. And I'm also going to start doing digital downloads soon. But you can look these up. Actually, I have a lot of free coloring pages, which are available at bit.ly/courageous pages. So go there, pick up some free coloring pages. I also have a page on there of all artists, other artists that I've gotten permission from to put their free coloring downloads on that website. So check it out if you want a lot of nice, fresh, new coloring pages to color. So this is the technique that I started using. It's these crayons. It's the Marabu art crayon and the Faber Castell. And then I just sort of smush them into the paper. And, oh, that's a different one. Hold on. I have another one in here. Oh, maybe it's here. Here it is. There we go. There's one right there too. And then I just did this one today. And I love it. I'm so happy with it. I'm really happy with discovering new ways to use this new combo that I've come up with. So on coloring pages. And I also, what I did with this one was I printed it out on copy paper because I'm going to be doing digital downloads soon. And I actually have some up on my website right now, which I just told you about. Here it is. So I wanted to see, aside from the coloring book, because this paper is a little bit better than just like a regular copy paper that you would get. So I wanted to see how this new way of using these crayons, this new technique I came up with is going to work on just a copy paper, just like a sheet of copy paper that was printed out of my laser printer, my black and white laser printer, and this is how it came out. And I think it came out really good. I'm gonna move it up so you can see a little bit better. So with this, I used the Marabu art crayons along with the Faber Castell Gelato right here. So I would take these just as I did earlier, draw them, smush them in, and then once I had that done, and I would do like some here, like just for little highlights and lowlights so I could flesh it out later with the, not that one, with this one, with the Uniposca paint pens. And I really enjoy using the bullet shaped tip as opposed to the skinnier tip because I don't think the skinnier tips work all that great. And your mileage may vary, but these tips are actually, the Posca pens, I will say, are like, they probably clog the least amount of other paint pens that I have used. If you ever want to learn how to wash out your paint pen tips, I have 2 videos on my channel that show you how to do it. And one of them, I use the Bistro chalk marker as my test subject to wash out the tips. And on the other one, I use the Molotow One for All. So those are actually very similar in terms of, I think the chemical makeup of the paint, they're both easy to wash out. So I show you how to do that. While I have you here and while I have this here, I also want to share, here's a pen that I've been very disappointed with. These are from Michaels. The company name is Craft Smart. I think it's like a Michaels brand. Anyway, I thought these were water soluble as well. Okay, no, they're water resistant. Okay, well that's why it didn't work, because I tried to wash these out. I tried to wash these tips out as well. And they're just like, I don't know how to effectively wash these out. I've tried with soap and water. I mean, the tip's in pretty good shape considering I've like battered this thing and tried to wash it. So the tip is actually in good shape, but there's a lot of paint in there that doesn't really want to come out. I know it looks one way on my hand, but it's not like doing what I want it to. I want it to come out a little bit thicker. and it doesn't. So I need to get to the bottom of that, because I have a bunch of these pens, these Craft Smart, and they all do the same thing. They all just don't really work that great for me. You know, they're just kind of dry, and I need to figure out how to wash these tips. I think I've tried washing them out in, I've also tried denatured alcohol, and that didn't work. So I've used soap and water, I've used denatured alcohol, and neither of those works. So I need to work on that. But, and if there is any, actually, if you see any chat where you are, I can't see the chat right now if there is any. So I just wanted to let you know, because this is my first time doing this in a really long time. I do have screen mirroring over there on my iPad, so that's good, but I thought that would help me so I could see if there was any chat going on. But of course, there's one lovely person in here. So obviously there is no chat. But if there ever was a chat, I don't see it over there. So I don't know. Basically, I'm just sort of flying by the seat of my pants right now, and I'm trying to figure this out because I would love to continue to do live colorings on YouTube instead of on Instagram, because, you know, like I said, I'm kind of done with that, I think, because I just don't think that that's gonna work for me. It's really, really flaky, unstable. You know, I don't mind so much that I have to limit the time, because let's get real. Who really wants to watch me color for 2 hours, right? Probably not a lot of people. Or talk about, well, maybe some people do, but I think that that's a long time. And I think an hour is plenty. So, and actually, I think an hour is a good amount of time to sort of limit a live to. And I watch a lot of YouTube, and I notice some creators that I watch will do like an hour. And I think an hour is an hour is good enough that you can get into it, but you're not, you know, overstepping. You know what I mean? If you get my drift. So yeah, that's that. But I just really wanted to figure this out. I didn't want the technology to sort of get in my head and make me stop producing stuff, you know? And we all got to work out our own way to make that work for ourselves. And for me, right now, what I've done and what I'm doing is I put a screen mirroring app on my iPad, because my worry about doing a live was, well, how am I going to see or moderate a chat if there's any chat? And I'm not thinking about right now, because I know there's almost nobody here. I have one lovely person in the chat right now. Thank you for being here. And no pressure if you want to go. I totally understand. But like if I get boring. But you know, I got to think a couple steps ahead, right? It's like there's kind of a fine balance. It's like, don't let things stop you from trying them. But you also want to be looking ahead and thinking about, you know, potential things that might trip you up in the future. So how can you troubleshoot that now? Or how can you make things work more pleasantly from the get-go, right? So if I just started streaming and I didn't have my phone up there, hi phone, if I didn't have, and hi one person watching, if I didn't have that mirrored, then I wouldn't be able to see anything. I would be flying blind. And that's not great to do. So I don't really know how a chat will even look if it shows up on my phone, because I've never done a chat on my phone before. I mean, a live stream. I'm sorry. I haven't done a live stream on my phone. So when I'm done coloring in all these little letters here and just sort of embellishing, you see that I'm not fully coloring them in. And the reason why is I will show you, like I did on this one and like I did on the other one I showed you. I will be using the different values in just the light values to sort of make this look more depth, like give this more depth, like I did on here with adding a white on top of a really light blue smudge here and stuff like that. So playing with that, playing with the lighter values and adding depth and dimension in that way. So that's what I'm planning on doing on this one too. And we'll see if I'm successful at it. We'll see how it works out. But this is a really fun method. And I think that the cool thing about, you know, experimenting with coloring is it's kind of a gateway. It's kind of a gateway into drawing too. So say you love to color, but maybe you're intimidated by drawing, or maybe you, you know, maybe it's one of the reasons why you like coloring is because you can explore your creativity in one way and you don't have to have that sort of pressure of like pressure to perform, and or that have to face like feeling a certain way about yourself. Like maybe you're gonna feel like you're gonna not live up to your own, you know, hopes for yourself. Like maybe you're gonna feel like, you know, you don't want to get down on yourself. You know, that's not why we're here. You know what I mean? It's like we're here to explore different ways to be creative without self-judgment, right? So that's really one of the greatest things I think is about coloring, and it's like a gateway to creativity for a lot of people who have, you know, who might have had some, you know, negative experiences with their own creativity in life. Like maybe a parent did not value creativity, or maybe it wasn't encouraged for you, you know. And that's what's cool about coloring, is it's just totally non-judgmental. It's acceptable for adults and children. It doesn't matter. It's something you can do alone. So it's like you don't even have to worry if anybody was a judgy person, because you can just do it by yourself, and it's just like a nice solitary meditative activity. You can put as much or as little into it as you want. You don't even have to you don't have to have a goal, you know, except for just putting some color onto a page. You don't even have to have a goal in mind for you to reach when you're coloring, unless you want to, you know. It's like all-inclusive creativity, which is a beautiful thing, and I think it's great. That's why I think coloring is so great. So I am an artist, and I've been doing it for a long time, and I always loved to color as a kid, but I did get bored. I got bored with coloring when I was a kid, and I got bored because I wanted to draw. So I would use coloring as sort of another, I didn't know it then, but it was like another tool in my toolbox kind of thing. It was another complementary activity, creative activity, aside from drawing, that allowed me to sort of, you know, explore different facets of creativity. So I do really love, I really do love coloring now, because I find that it is very much a stress relieving activity, and like a very meditative activity. It's like moving meditation. So I really love it for that, and for all of the other aforementioned reasons. Anybody can do it. You know, you decide what it is for you. Nobody's telling you how to color unless you want them to, you know. It's just an activity that you just can make up your own rules, or you can follow, you know, tips from other people. You can do whatever you want. You know, you can stretch yourself, or you can just, you know, do nothing. You can just scribble if you want, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. But I started doing my daily coloring therapy, which is my hashtag that I've been using on Instagram ever since I started doing this practice every day, and I thought I would do it as a color meditation. And the reason why is because a lot of the work I do starts out with drawing, like black line drawing or sketching in my sketchbook, but drawing, not using color. And I think coloring for me sort of became this cool tool where I'm only drawing with color, but I'm not missing the line part because I also have the line already done. You know what I mean? So I was able to use color creatively in a piece of artwork where the lines were already there. So it wasn't like I didn't have that blank page factor where you're thinking like, okay, well now I'm only drawing with color. So that's also you know, that's also a little bit stress inducing, right? Because like, oh, what am I going to put down? Like, what am I going to do? What project am I going to do today? You know, what rules am I going to follow that I'm dictating my own rules? So what rules am I going to follow? Because like, what is this exercise going to be? With coloring, you don't even have to think about that because the lines are already down. So it allowed me, as the person who actually like drew the pages, because I just color my own pages, I'm like, okay, it is like doing my own art, but it's like, I don't have to think about it, you know? I can just work on the color part and but still have the line, you know? I can still have the line, so it's not gonna break my brain, you know what I mean? Because this is how I'm used to working with lines. So if the lines are there, but I'm really just focused on the color part, it's not gonna like force me out of a different type of a comfort zone if I'm used to working with line a lot, you know? So yeah, that's the scoop. So I think I will just pretty much keep working on this until I have a little bit of the white on here. We're almost done with the coloring of the letters, and then I'm going to go into it with the Posca marker momentarily. And you see I'm keep grabbing different colors that are all sort of in the same color family. This is a more warm blue-green, and this is like the warmest color that I'm using, but I really like how this color plays off with the other colors, so with the cooler colors. And they, even though they are kind of in the same color family, or they work well together, but it adds a little bit of zest, you know? It adds a little bit of sparkle to it. A little it's just added in a couple different places so it can pick up, so I can pick up that vibe and bring everything together in a nice cohesive way with this pretty green. I want to put it in different places on the letters, so that adds to the interest of how I'm using this green to sort of tie everything in, but also give things a little bit of a pop, you know? So I think some of these letters I'm just going to keep cool, like the purple, these are all purple, this is purple, that's purple. Excuse me, that is mostly purple. But maybe we should add another color to 2 here, so we can differentiate the 2 from not. Because if I was just looking at this and not knowing what it said, I could look at that as one word. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to color the 2 and there we go. Get some blue in there. So now that's differentiated. Now let's put some little bit of pink. Pink is warm too, but I think I put a little here so it's not like it's going to be a it's not like it's going to be an alien color in here. It's already in here. And actually this Faber Castell Gelato is really nice because it's not like a super pigmented one. It's as you can see, it looks very pigmented. However, when you draw it, you can see I can smudge it and I can make it transparent just like that. So it's nice to have that ease to just be able to smudge it and add and do it, you know, get it to sort of marry with whatever else is down there in a nice, easy way. And these are really great for that. Like, it's kind of funny. It's taken me a while to sort of embrace these. And quite honestly, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but did I talk to you about the packaging on these and that they need to redo the packaging because these are just way too much plastic in these. So I do think the products are good though. And it's funny that I never really found my footing with these until I started using them for coloring. So if I was going to do my own composition without a coloring page, I think, and this is the thing about like coloring being a gateway as well. I know that I am an artist on the regular, and that is what I do for a job, and also just because I love to do it, obviously. But even if I wasn't, then this is the type of art that I could do a project and like it would be like a gateway to other types of art. You know what I mean? Like this could be a gateway to drawing. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute, because in a minute we're going to go into this with a white pen. And when we do, you're going to see what I mean. Because it really is a gateway to drawing. It's a gateway to drawing, and it's and to drawing like let me hold your hand type of drawing. You know what I mean? Like let me guide you into like the pen. This not me particularly, I'm talking about this method, can gently guide and lovingly guide you into drawing without judgment. And I'm going to show you how in 1 second. I just want to touch a couple more areas, and then I'm going to look up at my phone because I can't see how long this stream has been going on. Oh, 42 minutes. Okay. All right. I'm still getting used to this. I'm still figuring stuff out. So before I do that, before I do the pen, the Posca marker, the white Posca, I'm going to show you how you can sort of pull out a little bit of lightness using a Caran d'Ache Neocolor when you have these all smudged in your paper. And this will actually work probably better if you wait a day, but you don't really have to wait a day. But waiting a day is good because it'll help this paper cure. It will help the artwork, what am I talking about? It'll help the crayon to really soak into the paper and dry, okay? So I did this today and it came out really good. And this part, see how it's lighter here? And this is a non-water soluble wax crayon oil pastel by Caran d'Ache. I love these. I use them all the time. They're good for so many different things. And I really never shut up about them. But anyway, they're good for this. So I didn't not wait on this one. I just did this on the same time, right after I did the background on this. And I really like how it came out. It's subtle. It looks cloudy and ethereal. It's like gauzy. And it's a really nice additional texture, color, etc. So let's try that here. Let's just try it real quick. I just want to see. I'm still testing this method out, but I really like it. I like what I've seen so far. and see. So I'm bringing, it's kind of like, you know what it's like? It's like frosted glass. It's like frosting, it's like frosted glass. And then the other parts of the glass are the non-frosted parts. So that's super cool. So, and all I have to do is stay in the lines, which I can't do, apparently. And I could never stand the lines when I was a kid. Oh my gosh. My sister was such a tight in the lines colorer, and I was not at all. And it was actually, I guess I didn't, I mean, there was times when it would frustrate me. How I remember this, I don't know, but I just do. I'm in touch with my inner artist. I guess I just remember this stuff. But I did have trouble keeping in the lines. I tried to. And it's okay that I didn't. I'm happy I didn't. But yeah, back then you want to do certain things and you can't perform the way you want to, and it's a little bit annoying. But you know what I did when I was a kid? I used to break all my crayons accidentally because I would press on them so hard. And this goes way back to like back when I could first color. I just would break all my crayons. I mentioned this to my sister the other day because I talked about it in a live stream, how I would break all my crayons and then I would use my sister's crayons and then I would break her crayons. And she didn't like it, but she was always good to me. And I didn't blame her when she got, mad, but I really tried not to. For some reason, I just couldn't not break my crayons. It's kind of funny. Yeah, so in a minute we're gonna go in with a Posca. I'm just trying to see like if I can just pull out a little bit of lightness in different areas right now with this. And let's see here. So I really like this. I'm just going to call this frosted glass technique because that is exactly what this is like. So doing these live streams has really helped me to further develop like what I have to share, as far as teaching goes. And it's really been a great exercise for me in terms of just communicating to myself and also to you guys, like, because you have to be able to wrap your head around a new concept and know how you want to explain it to somebody. You know what I mean? And also, it's a great way to just, like experiment with other people, like experiment live, and why not? It's just fun. And I've been really, really enjoying it, obviously, because I can't get enough. And I'm just like, I don't want the fact that I can't get it to work on Instagram the way I would like to keep me from doing this. I don't want to be like a slave to the technology and like be side tripped up by it all the time, And one of the things I like to do for other artists is help people with their roadblocks. And this was a roadblock for me. We have roadblocks all the time. And one of them was the screen thing. So like, how can I live stream using my phone camera and be able to see the screen? Because I can't live stream my art if I can't see the screen and what's happening on it. So I figured out tonight, I got a mirroring app, like a screen mirror app. So I have, my camera is up there, hello. And then over there, I have, here, let me show you. Let me just quickly plug this. And there's my iPad, yay! So now I have the option to do this, and I still have no idea what it's gonna be like if somebody is to make a comment. I have no idea if I'll be able to see it on my screen or not, because this is my first live stream ever on my device, on my phone. I've done a couple live streams on my desktop, but I have never done one on my phone before. So this is like new territory for me. If there is any comments, I have not seen them, even though I'm able to see my screen over here, so I don't know I have no idea. Basically, I have no idea. Just gonna have to see how this works out, and hopefully it works out for the best. If nothing else, I will learn something from this live stream. So, and I'm really having fun because I really like doing these. So thank you so much for just being here. I can't see your names or anything, but I really appreciate it. Thank you, and I hope that you're enjoying it. So this will be up on my channel later as well. So, and I won't go on too long either. I am at 50 minutes now. So I'm just going to keep doing the highlights right now. And then I'm going to go into it with a Posca pen momentarily. So you see when I'm coloring this, I'm not caring that I'm going over some of these black lines. Like, I don't care. It's okay. Who cares? So that's the scoop. So I'm just gonna do that. Yeah, I think we're good. I think. Let me just do a little bit more here. A little bit more here, and then we're gonna be good. Oh, what did I do there? Why did I do that? Okay. All right, let's get a Posca pen going. And so I will do a little bit of this, and then I think I'm going to probably hang it up after that, and then I'll do another live stream soon. I'm going to try and figure out a schedule because I sort of worked out the kinks a little bit with Instagram. Doing these on Instagram taught me a few things. So one of the things that it showed me is that I can show up on a regular. So one of the reasons why on my YouTube channel I don't have a schedule is just because that's a commitment that I just could never really commit to. And when I make videos for my YouTube channel, I really want them to be of value to my subscribers. And I really want them to be, they have to sort of be important enough for me to make them. Because I just don't like to make a video just to make a video, if you know what I mean. I like to make a video that's actually going to be of more, like, obviously entertainment value is fine. And I watch a lot of just strictly entertainment value videos. I really do. But I really like to be compelled to share something I've learned, a mistake I've made that I don't want other people to have to make, because why reinvent the wheel, that type of thing. So that's kind of my MO with my YouTube channel, right? I love to give you guys content that you can use and that you can feel like you walked away and you learned something new, or, you know, yeah, basically, that you learned something new or you gained a new perspective on something through my experience. So that's really what I strive for. And what was my point? I don't even know what my point was anymore in telling you all that. Oh yeah, my point was that this is why I haven't, let me try and move my pen so you can actually see my marks when I'm making them. This is why I haven't in the past had a schedule, like a schedule. I haven't put up on my YouTube cover, you know, new videos every Tuesday and Thursday or whatever, you know, because that's just not something that I could really commit to. And I feel like this is something I kind of want to commit to, because I feel like I've done these for a week and I feel like they're valuable still, like in the ways that hit the marks for me. You know what I mean? So, and I also really like that stuff just comes up and I just start talking about it. That's fun for me. And I hope it's fun for you too, because we've had a lot of really good conversations come up that I probably would not have talked about in a video that I edited and that was somewhat scripted, because some things like are personal to talk about, or, you know, I just never expect that I'm actually going to talk about that, and you know, like important lessons, important things, but also things that maybe are a little bit, you know, if you thought about sharing it, you might not, just because for whatever shyness reason you have, or you know, that type of stuff, sensitivity reasons and stuff. But I have shared like quite a bit. So I actually have looked back on those and I think, you know, it's really cool because I feel like live streaming in some ways is a really good tool for getting out of your own way in that way, you know, because you are live and you just have to sort of put it out there. And if you absolutely hate it, or for whatever reason, you can delete it. You know, it is deletable. It's not forever unless you want to just keep it up there. And that's that. So when I was talking about coloring being a gateway to drawing, this is really what I'm talking about. Being able to go in to your coloring page and just draw, like using what's already there as your little friend to help you to make new marks and to explore, you know, new little patterns that you like or little marks that you like to make. You know, you can just sort of have fun with it and do what you like to do and add if you like to, and or just color. But another cool thing is that it gives you all these little lines, so that's how cool coloring is, because you can just sort of go with the line, or you can just create your whole new thing, you know, create something completely different from it if you want to. You know, but regardless of whatever you do, it is going to be your own thing, because this is your, you know, piece of art. This is like your, what you've done. You've done this coloring, and this coloring is unique and special and pretty and different, and you get to explore all these different ways to make marks. And you know, it's a cool way to kind of find out different things that you like too. Color palettes or different like marks that you find you make over and over. For instance, I make dots. I'm a big dot person, and I've been a dot person my whole life pretty much. I was in art school in back when I was in art school, I was a painting major, and I remember I did dots, and I think it might go back to partly, in some way, shape, or form, the fact that I was really into Van Gogh when I was 16, 17. And he, if you really look at his paintings, are all just little dots. And that made a big impact on me. And he made little texture dots and little texture marks, and it really influenced me a lot. So as you can see, I still do. Now it's just a part of what I do, is making little dots a lot. So as you can see from here, this is all dots too. So anyway, that's that. But I love coloring, so, and I love being able to explore all the different variations of the different colors. You know, one thing about these pens that you got to watch out for is that they do pick up a little bit of color when you're using them. Like for instance here, this guy is picking up a little bit of blue when I just drew on the blue. So you have to make sure to have like some paper to dab on. I like to put some craft paper on my surface, and then I clean it off every once in a while. I put some new paper on. I replace it just so I can have a little fresh paper. So I think this is good. So I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna hang up tonight, and I will post the final picture of this to my Instagram, and also I will replace the cover, the YouTube live video cover that I create. I will replace that with the cover. Sorry. I will replace what's there now with this artwork, and I hope that you have enjoyed this live stream, and I just want to thank you, whoever you are, for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being my lone viewer. I'm so happy to have you here, and I hope you have a really good night, and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, because I am going to do more of these. This has been really fun, and it's sort of, I feel like I'm breaking down my own walls by doing it, because like I said, I've never done an art live stream on YouTube before, and this is my first one. So thank you so much for bearing with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And please subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to hang up now, and I just want to say again, thank you, and I hope to see you soon. All right. Thanks, and have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.